Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Apron Strings. Glad to have y'all in the kitchen with me. And I got up this morning wanting some soup, and sometimes I don't put potatoes or pasta or anything in my soup. I just have meat, usually ground beef, and cabbage and vegetables. So today I'm going to make basically a cabbage and beef soup. I've got 3 pounds of beef. I bought one of those rolls at Kroger's, the 3-pound roll, and I'm browning off all of it at the same time, and I've added a great big onion and a great big bell pepper in it. Always when I prep my meat ahead of time, I always go ahead and season it. And I've put in some onion and garlic powder, and I'm going to salt it a little bit because I like to get some seasoning in the meat while it's cooking. So I'm going to go, what I'm doing is I'm having to thaw this, okay? I've got my fire on low, and I come over here and scrape what's thawed and let some more of it do. So I will use this for 2 or 3 different dishes, but I'll have my meat cooked all at one time, and that cuts down on the workload. So I just want to cook these peppers and onions in here. Sometimes I put them in first, but this, man overboard. This time I'm going to just let them kind of just saute down, get tender while the meat finishes, and then I'll dish out some of the meat to go in my soup. But in the meantime, I've got a big pot here that I'm going to make my soup in. This one. And I need to fill it about half full with water. And I'm going to add some better than bouillon chicken to it. I'm using onion soup mix also in it, but I'm going to put because I want my broth to taste yummy. So let me get it going. Some of this will be on a card at the end, and some of it you need to watch to see what I add to it, because I don't ever make it the same way twice. And my mom got to where she'd use chicken in all of her soup. I still like beef in my soup. I like chicken noodle soup, but if I'm going to make regular soup, I want beef in it. And I'm just using 80-20 ground chuck is what I'm using. You gotta have this juice to go with your cornbread, with your soup. I'm gonna get that heating. I'm gonna get my better than bouillon out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got my bouillon, and I'm just gonna scoop me out some. I'm not really measuring. That's probably a couple of tablespoons, and I'll taste my broth and see if I needed to add some more. I'm going to put onion and garlic powder in here. I guess I'll do it in my hand where I guesstimate here. That's about a teaspoon of garlic powder. And a couple of tablespoons. I'm going to check myself here. Let's just see. There's 1 tablespoon, and there's almost another tablespoon, a little bit shy. Pretty close. I'll add a little bit more just for good measure, but I had it almost on what I thought I had. Then I'm going to add a little bit of salt, but not much, because my bouillon has some salt in it, about 3/4 of a teaspoon. I want some fresh cracked black pepper in mine. For those of you that are new, this is a ratchet pepper grinder that I got at SLAW. You can get them on Amazon now. They're so much better than having to crank the top. I have sure enjoyed having it. Get my bouillon dissolved so I can taste of this and see what it needs before I start adding my onions and my celery and my cabbage and letting it cook, and then I'll add the meat last. And you can add whatever vegetables you want, but that's what I'm going to put in it, and that's what I've got on my recipe card. all of that bouillon off of there because I need all of that flavor in the soup. Let me see how close we are to having all this meat thawed, and then I can make sure it's all browned and done. I don't want any raw meat in my soup. Me and April and Lauren made sushi yesterday, and they were picking at me, where's the raw fish? That don't happen here. But I picked at them and told them I'd try to have some next time. We just make it with avocados and cream cheese, fake crab, and I like cucumber, they don't. Well, it don't like much now. And I'll cut the fire up. Let it finish cooking. Got a big old skillet full of meat here with that. And it's not a lot of fat cooking out of it, so that's good. It was 80-20, but maybe it was leaner than usual. Now I cooked some lunch yesterday, and I always cook a bunch and put it in the ice box so I'll have it. So I'm going to make Troy rice with this meat mixture in it because he's not going to want some of my soup, I don't imagine. And when I say that, he might, but normally he's not going to want any cabbage soup. I'm working a couple of days this week, so I will take soup for my lunch. Yummy, that's good. Okay, I'm going to put a package of onion soup mix, and I've told y'all a lot of times when I cook my rice, I'll put a package of this in it. It sure makes it good. Add in there 2 cans of stewed tomatoes. Let that all start heating. And those are whole stewed tomatoes, so I'm going to get my scissors and clip them. Just clip it, clip it, clip it. That's what I'm going to do because I want little pieces of tomatoes, not big ones. Y'all, I like tomato stuff. I might even add another can, I don't know. Gonna be yummy. We were thinking we were going to get another cold spell, but so far we haven't. Although the other night it was supposed to be 39 according to the weatherman. Got down to freezing, and I just knew my strawberries that's in my green stalk had frozen. They didn't. They made it. Got some plans for my garden area back there, and I'm so ready for spring. I talked to Richard last night about helping me. I've got a great big water fountain that I bought several years ago, and we just never have got it put up. So I asked him, maybe he and Josh or some of his friends could help me get it put up for the spring. And he said, yes ma'am. I said, baby, I'll pay you. He said, nah, I don't want any money. We can do that. So I may walk out there directly and show y'all what my plans are. You know, I've got those raised planters that were cattle feeders with the plastics broken on them, and they're falling down. So I'm going to scoop all of the soil out of them and get that middle part opened up to where they can get in there and put my fountain up, and then I'm going to put some raised beds around it. So I've got big plans if I can just make them come to pass. Okay, this is one huge onion and part about, let's see, 3 stalks of ribs of celery. I didn't want it to taste like V8 juice, but I do want it to have a little bit of flavor. And I want my onions and peppers, of course, to get tender. Now, if you've got people that don't like the celery and the bell pepper and the onion, put it in your broth to start with and get your immersion blender, and you'll just have a good flavored broth with your cabbage and meat in it. That's good, and that's a good way to sneak some stuff in there that they might not want. And I also have some shredded carrots, and I'm thinking I may add some of those shredded carrots to this for color. I like the different colors of stuff in there. Peck, 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 get it all broken apart here. I got one of those little things. I got one of those little mix and stir or whatever they're called. Looks like a windmill thing, but I don't know just where I've got it stored, so I'll just peck around till I get it broke up. I'm going to let this hamburger meat brown a little bit more while this is simmering, and I am going to add a few carrots to it, I think. And I'll be back when I start at the end putting all the cabbage. Now, called for a big head of cabbage, and I've already used half of my medium head on something else. So I'm going to use this big old bag of Taylor Farms tricolored coleslaw. It's washed and ready to use. So it just has purple and green cabbage and a few carrots in it. So I'm going to use this, and if I think I need more, I'll shred some off of this little half a head of cabbage here. But I wanted to use this before it ruins. So let me be back in a little bit when we're ready for the next step. Okay, I'm going to add in this cabbage mixture, and I didn't go ahead and get carrots because this has carrots in it. Okay, I got all the cabbage added in and cooked it down some, and I've just scooped the beef. You can see that quite a bit of it's gone, and I just got me scoops like that, and I probably put 4 of those scoops in here. And I'm fixing to dish some of this up and let y'all see what it looks like, and then I'm going to taste of it. Okay, let's dip a scoop or 2 up. It's still very hot. And I did get some of the juice out just now, and drank it. There won't be any to add back in. What I wanted to tell y'all a little while this cools a snitch. If you work, brown you up some hamburger meat and then portion it up. Go ahead and add your onions and whatever y'all like. If you don't like onions and bell pepper and garlic, don't put it. But I always season mine, and then I'll freeze it, vacuum seal it, or vacuum it best I can in a Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer, date it, and then if I want to make a recipe that calls for a pound of hamburger, I've already got it cooked. Also, I prep onions ahead and put them in a bag. I prep bell pepper, celery, freeze it. Doesn't take it as long to cook once it's been frozen because it gets soft. And you can have a meal ready and on the table in 30 minutes if you just pull it out of the freezer, get your broth going and get it going, or make a casserole. Prepping ahead saves you lots of time. When you don't really want to cook, you can get something ready real quick. So this I wished I could smell. It looks so good. And for y'all that don't know, COVID took my smeller away a couple of years ago, and it can't find its way home. Okay, let's see what this tastes like. My vegetables are still a little crisp, and that's how I like them. You can cook them mushy if you want to. I don't have cornbread ready yet, but guess what I got in the pantry? A stick of crackers. And I'm just going to sit down and have me some soup and crackers, and then I'm going to upload this video where y'all can make y'all some soup. Now, like I told you, you could add some pasta, cook you some pasta. Go ahead and rinse it if you're going to put it in your soup. That keeps it from thickening the juice too much and gumming together. Or you could cook you a few potatoes and put in it. You could add any kind of vegetables that you want. This is what I like, cabbage soup. It's not as fattening. Doesn't have all those starches in it. And it sure is filling and good. So I'm going to get over here and eat my lunch. Now I might make another video for y'all where you'll have another one. I'm only working 2 days this week. But I don't always get a video made after I get home from working all day, so I'll try to get another one or two done today where you'll have videos all week. Good Lord bless and keep y'all. Remember what I said the other day? Take care of yourself. Watch over your shoulder. Know your surroundings. Notice in your neighborhood if an unusual vehicle goes by your house real often and you don't know them and they slow down at your house. Could be stalking you. Can't be too careful nowadays. Watch when you go out of the store to your car in the parking lot, and watch around and see if somebody else needs help. I'm getting a little bit more aware that we're in turbulent times, and as things keep escalating in price, crime's going to escalate. So take care of yourself. Watch your back. Be very careful. Pray before you leave the house that God would put a hedge around you and protect you and bring you safely home. He does listen to us, and that's what I do. That's a good insurance policy on a daily basis. Give Him praise and thanks and ask Him for His protection. You know, He can have His big old hands around you and nobody sees them and you don't, but He can hide you or protect you from whatever. So don't forget to say your prayers. Give those smiles away and get some smiles back. It'll brighten your day. Have a good day, and I'll be back pretty soon with something else good.